All right, listeners, gearing up for that Absorbent Pad Machine Operator interview. We're here to help you make a killer impression using your RoleCatcher resources.
Yeah, we're your interview prep squad.
We're diving deep today,
You
folks.
got your career guide, your interview guide, even some cool insights into their AI tools.
All to help you nail this thing.
Exactly.
So first things first, what does an Absorbent Pad Machine Operator actually do?
I think it's a lot more than just pads.
It's got to be right.
Oh, way more. You're the one keeping those machines running, making sure everything's humming, turning those plant-based building blocks.
Your cellulose fibers.
Cellulose fibers, yes, thank you, into the absorbent material we use every single day.
So we're talking
Vapors,
feminine hygiene products.
Yeah, you're making a real impact.
It's the stuff we rely on.
It is.
Everyday heroes, for sure.
Exactly.
The career guide mentions it's a mix of technical skills, quality control,
Problem solving.
and problem solving.
Yeah, it's a very hands-on role.
Okay, so let's jump right into some of these interview questions.
Let's do it.
The interview guide is packed with them.
Yeah.
First up, what motivated you to apply for this role?
It seems simple.
It seems pretty straightforward, but I bet there's a lot you could do to stand out with this question.
Oh, for sure. You don't want to just say, I need a job.
Right.
You really want to connect your personal interests with what the role actually does.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you're really intrigued by the manufacturing process.
Yeah, how things are made.
How things are made. You're fascinated by that. Or maybe you like the idea of helping to make a product that makes a difference.
Yeah, makes people's lives better.
In people's lives, exactly.
Show them you've thought about why this job.
Yes, why this job?
Not just any job.
Not just any job.
Okay.
Have a good answer for that one.
What about experience? What if someone hasn't worked with these exact machines before?
That's where your transferable skills come in. You got to think about all your past experiences, even the ones that don't seem related at all.
Right.
So have you ever worked in a fast-paced environment?
Like a restaurant.
Like a restaurant.
Keeping up with orders.
Exactly. That shows you can handle pressure, you can follow procedures.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had to troubleshoot a problem, even if it wasn't a machine?
Yeah.
Those problem-solving skills.
I see that.
They're valuable, they're transferable.
So even if your resume doesn't scream Absorbent Pad Machine Operator,
Right.
there are ways to show you got what it takes.
You got the right stuff, exactly.
All right, next question. Can you describe the steps you take to ensure quality control?
Ooh.
This one feels detail-oriented.
It is very detail-oriented.
It is.
They want to see that you are proactive about quality, that
Yeah.
you're not just like, oh no, there's a problem now, I have to fix it.
Right.
So mention things like visual checks you're checking for defects using measuring tools.
Making sure the weight's right. Make sure
the consistency is right. You might even run some tests, to check absorbency.
show them you're not just pushing buttons.
Yeah, you're
Been monitoring and ensuring quality.
You're not just clocking in and clocking out.
Exactly.
It's,
You're invested.
every machine has its quirks.
Of course they do.
How would you approach this question? How do you troubleshoot issues when they arise?
Well, you want to be structured with this answer.
Okay.
So think about it like a detective.
Okay.
Solving a case.
I like that.
First, identify the problem.
What's going wrong?
What's going wrong exactly?
Okay.
Then you want to analyze all the potential causes.
Okay.
So is it a mechanical issue?
Mm-hmm.
Is a setting off? Is there some kind of material inconsistency?
Okay.
And then you push it down.
Got it.
You want to systematically test your solutions.
And, of course, through that whole process.
Yes.
Safety.
Safety is paramount.
Safety first.
Always.
Speaking of safety, this next question is a very common one.
Can you describe a time you had to work under pressure?
This is your time to shine.
Okay.
So use what we call the STAR method.
The STAR method.
Situation, task, action, result.
I liked it.
So briefly describe a challenging situation.
Okay.
The task you had to complete the specific actions you took, and then the awesome outcome.
The positive outcome that you
The
achieved.
positive outcome you achieved, yes.
So maybe you had a deadline to meet?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there was a sudden problem you had to solve?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you had to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
A great story.
Not only shows them you can handle the heat,
But it also makes you
memorable.
Yeah.
Sets you apart.
You're not just another face in the crowd.
Exactly.
Now, before we jump into more questions,
Yes.
I want to touch on RoleCatcher's AI for a second.
Yeah, this is a good one.
I'm really curious how it can help tailor our answers?
So it basically analyzes job descriptions
Mm.
to understand what specific skills and keywords they're looking for.
Well, that's helpful.
It's like your secret weapon
Okay.
to decode what employers want to hear.
So it's not about sounding generic.
No,
It's about really honing in on
what this particular company
what
values.
this particular company is looking for.
Yes.
That's awesome.
You can even input your practice answers.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the AI will give you feedback on how relevant and impactful they are.
So it's like having
A personal coach,
a personal interview coach.
an AI interview coach.
I love it.
There you go.
All right, back to those questions.
Okay. Ready for some more interview questions?
Well, yeah, bring it on. I feel like we're really getting in the groove here.
I think so too.
What's next on the list from the RoleCatcher Interview Guide?
All right. This one is going to focus on technical skills.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience in maintaining and repairing machinery?
So they want to know you can get your hands dirty.
They want to know that you understand the equipment.
So it's not enough to just operate the machine.
Right.
You need to have some mechanical aptitude as well.
You got to have some mechanical aptitude.
Okay.
So highlight any experience you have with preventative maintenance, doing routine checks, maybe even some minor repairs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've ever fixed a jam, replaced a part, followed a troubleshooting guide, those are all things you want to talk about.
And if you have any certifications or training related to machinery,
Oh, yeah.
definitely bring those up.
Definitely.
Okay, I'm seeing another question here about multitasking.
Hmm?
How do you prioritize tasks when multiple demands are placed on your time?
Ooh, multitasking.
It sounds like a recipe for stress.
It can be, but the key is to stay calm and organized.
Right.
You know, describe a system that you use to manage your workload.
Hmm.
Maybe you create a to-do list. Maybe you use a time management app. Maybe you just have a mental checklist that you run through.
Yeah.
But the key is to show them that you have a method to the madness.
So a real-life example always helps, right? Like during a busy shift, I noticed a minor issue with the machine. I quickly assessed the situation, prioritized fixing it to avoid a bigger problem, and then got back to my other tasks. Something like that.
Perfect. You've demonstrated problem-solving prioritization and a commitment to quality all in one little story.
I like it.
All right, now this next one is a big one. How do you ensure the safety of yourself and others when operating machinery?
Safety's paramount.
Safety is paramount, no doubt about it.
What are some key points to hit here?
Well, they know you're going to wear your safety goggles and follow basic procedures. What they're really looking for is that deep understanding of potential hazards and a proactive approach to safety.
Okay, so what kind of things would impress them?
Talk about specific safety checks that you perform before you even start the machine, like inspecting the guards and making sure everything is properly secured.
Mm-hmm.
Mention your awareness of potential blind spots and how you position yourself to avoid accidents.
So it's all about demonstrating that safety is not just a checklist, but it's ingrained in your work ethic.
It's part of how you operate.
Okay, we've tackled some tough questions here. How about we shift gears and talk a bit more about career progression?
Well,
The career guy has some really interesting insights.
yeah, this is a good one to think about.
Yeah.
Remember, this interview isn't just about getting the job. It's also about showing them that you are a long-term investment.
That's a great point.
So when they ask about your future goals, you want to try to align those with the typical career path in this field.
So instead of saying, I don't know, maybe I'll manage a team someday, I could say something like, I'm really excited about the potential to progress from an operator to a lead operator, eventually taking on training and mentorship roles.
There you go.
Something like that.
You've shown them, you've done your research, you understand the career trajectory, and you have a vision for your future with them.
That's a powerful message.
That's powerful stuff.
Now I'm wondering, how can we leverage RoleCatcher's AI to really fine-tune these answers and make sure we're hitting all the right notes?
This is where the AI can be super helpful, by analyzing successful responses to these types of questions. It can kind of identify those patterns and trends that resonate with hiring managers.
So it's not about giving generic answers. It's about tailoring it to what this particular company values.
It's about being specific.
Awesome.
The AI can also help you pinpoint areas where your answers might be lacking. Maybe they're not specific enough. Maybe they're not highlighting the skills that the employer is looking for.
So it's like a personalized feedback loop that helps you continuously improve.
It's like having a coach in your pocket.
I love it.
So use it.
All right, back to the interview guide. What other challenging questions should we be ready for?
Okay, this one focuses on problem solving and decision making.
Oh.
Can you describe a time you had to make a difficult decision on the job? So they want to see how you approach challenges, how you weigh your different options.
So it's not just about describing a problem. It's about showing how you analyze the situation, consider the potential consequences, and then ultimately arrive at a solution.
Exactly.
Got it.
So choose a situation where you had to make a judgment call. Maybe it was a safety concern, maybe it was a production issue, maybe there was a conflict with a colleague, but clearly outline the problem, the options you considered, the factors that influence your decision, and then, of course, the outcome.
And of course, if the outcome wasn't ideal, you can talk about what you learned from the experience and how you've grown as a decision maker.
You gotta learn from your mistakes.
Exactly. It's not about always
Yeah.
being right. It's about showing that you can learn and adapt.
And grow.
All right, what else do we need to be prepared for?
Okay, this next one, this is a classic. What are your salary expectations?
Ooh, I always get nervous talking about money.
I know it can be a little tricky, but with some preparation, you can handle it.
What's the best way to approach this?
Do your research. Okay.
Use resources like RoleCatcher. They have salary data online. Salary calculators get a sense of the average pay range for this role in your location with your level of experience.
So it's not just about throwing out a number. You've got data to back it
I
up.
want to know what you're worth.
Exactly.
And then you can frame your response in terms of a range rather than a specific number.
Okay.
So you could say something like, based on my research and experience, I'm seeking a salary in the range of, and then you give your range.
That makes sense. It shows you've done your homework and you're being realistic.
Right.
What if they press you for a specific number, though?
If you're comfortable, you can give a number at the higher end of your range that leaves room for negotiation. But if you're not ready to commit to a specific figure, you can always say something like, I'm open to discussing salary further once we've had a chance to talk more about the role and the responsibilities.
That's a good strategy. It keeps the conversation going
It does.
without boxing you in.
Exactly.
Okay, we've covered salary expectations.
What other tricky questions are out there?
Okay, this one is a bit of a curveball. What are your weaknesses?
Oof, I hate this question.
I know a lot of people do. It feels like a trap, doesn't it?
It does.
But the key here is to be honest but strategic.
Okay.
So choose a weakness that's not a core skill for this job and then frame it in a positive light.
Okay.
So how are you working to improve?
So, for example, I wouldn't say I'm terrible at following instructions because that's a pretty big deal for an operator role.
Yeah.
But I could say something like, I sometimes get so focused on the details that I can lose sight of the bigger picture to address this. I've been practicing techniques to help me stay organized and prioritize tasks effectively.
Perfect.
Something like that.
You've acknowledged a weakness, but you've also shown that you're self-aware and that you're committed to growth.
That's a much better way to look at it.
It is.
Okay, what else do we need to be ready for?
Okay, this one is all about teamwork. Can you describe a time you had to work effectively as part of a team?
Teamwork is essential in any production environment.
Oh, it is. You can't do it alone.
What kind of story would really shine here?
Choose a situation where you played a key role in a successful team effort.
Okay.
Maybe it was solving a complex problem, meeting a tight deadline, implementing a new process.
Mm-hmm.
You want to highlight your contributions, your ability to work well with others, and the positive impact of your collaboration.
So it's not just about saying I'm a team player. It's about providing concrete evidence of your teamwork skills.
Give them the proof.
And it's not just about what you did.
No.
It's about how you work together as a team
Exactly.
to achieve a common goal.
A shared goal.
Highlight how you communicated effectively.
Yeah.
Listen to different perspectives
Uh-huh.
and supported your teammates.
Exactly. It shows that you understand the value of collaboration. You're not just focused on your own success.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground on teamwork.
I think so.
What else is on the horizon in terms of interview questions?
Okay, this one's all about initiative. Can you give an example of a time you went above and beyond your job duties?
Okay, so they're looking for that proactive nature.
They want to see that you're willing to take on a challenge.
And you're dedicated to going the extra mile.
Exactly.
This is our chance to shine.
It is.
What kind of stories would resonate with them?
Think about times when you volunteered for a task outside of your normal responsibilities,
Okay.
or you identified a problem and took steps to solve it,
Mm-hmm.
or went the extra mile to help a colleague or a customer.
For example, I could talk about a time when I noticed a potential safety hazard, and I took the initiative to report it and suggest a solution. Or maybe I could describe a time when I helped train a new employee, even though it wasn't part of my job description.
Great examples, though, show initiative, problem-solving skills, and a commitment to teamwork, all things that are going to impress a hiring manager.
I'm feeling so much more confident about tackling these interview questions now.
Good. I'm glad.
But before we wrap up this section on the interview questions, I want to circle back to RoleCatcher's AI one more time.
Yes.
How can we use it to refine these answers and make sure we're putting our best foot forward?
This is where the AI can be really powerful for self-assessment.
Okay.
So you can input your answers, get personalized feedback on how clear they are, how relevant they are, and how impactful they are. It's like having a virtual coach to help you really polish those responses and make sure they're interview ready.
So it's not just about checking for grammar and typos, it's evaluating the content and making sure it really hits the mark.
It is.
Wow, this is seriously amazing.
Uh,
It takes the guesswork out of interview prep
it does.
and gives you that confidence knowing you're putting your best foot forward.
You got this.
I love it, all right. Practice makes perfect.
It does.
The more you practice these questions,
Huh?
the more feedback you get from RoleCatcher's AI.
Yes.
The more confident and prepared you'll be for that real interview.
You'll be smooth. You'll be ready to go.
It's like having a secret weapon.
It is.
I love it.
Use it.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground,
I think so.
but there's still more to come, right?
We do have a little bit more. We have a few more essential questions to go over
Okay.
and some final tips to help you really nail this thing.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, we covered a ton of ground from understanding the role to tackling those tricky interview questions.
I think so.
But before we wrap up this deep dive, let's circle back to one of my favorite topics.
Oh, yeah.
RoleCatcher's AI.
It's a game changer.
It is, especially when it comes to fine-tuning your answers and making sure they really resonate with the hiring manager.
Exact.
So we've talked about it a little bit throughout the episode, but let's break it down one more time.
Okay.
How does this AI actually work its magic?
So imagine having a huge library of successful interview responses at your fingertips.
Okay.
That's essentially what the AI provides. It's analyzed tons of answers, identifying all the patterns and trends that really make a response stand out.
So it's not about giving cookie-cutter answers. It's about understanding what works, what really resonates with hiring managers in this specific field.
Yes, exactly. It's about being specific.
And here's where it gets even more impressive. You can actually input your practice answers,
Yes.
the ones we've been working on, and the AI gives you personalized feedback,
It's like having a personal interview coach.
but available 24/7.
There you go.
What kind of feedback does it give?
So it's going to look at things like clarity, relevance, and impact. So is your answer easy to understand? Does it actually answer the question? Are you showcasing the skills and experience they're looking for?
So it's not just checking for typos, it's really evaluating the content,
It's about the content, making sure it's good.
making sure it hits the mark.
Yes, and it goes beyond just pointing out the problems. It actually gives you suggestions for improvement.
Oh, wow.
So maybe you need to add a specific example, maybe you need to quantify your accomplishments, or maybe you just need to rephrase something to make it flow better.
This is really cool. It takes the guesswork out of interview prep,
Yeah.
and it gives you that confidence.
You know you're putting your best foot forward.
I love it.
It's a great tool.
You-
That's it.
Oh, okay. We've talked a lot about what to say.
Yes.
Any final tips on overall demeanor and making a great impression?
Oh, for sure. First, enthusiasm is contagious, so let them see you're genuinely excited about this opportunity.
So smile, make eye contact,
Let your personality shine through.
be yourself,
Be yourself, exactly.
and be prepared to ask some thoughtful questions.
That shows you've done your research and that you're curious.
The Career Guide had some great questions to ask about company culture growth opportunities.
Even day-to-day responsibilities, you can ask about all that stuff.
Yeah, just the realities of the job.
Right. And then last but not least, don't forget to follow up after the interview with a nice thank you note.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's just a simple gesture, but it shows you're professional and that you appreciate their time.
I love it. Well, to all of our aspiring absorbent pad machine operators out there.
Good luck.
Go into that interview prepared, confident, and ready to impress.
You got this.
And remember, RoleCatcher is your secret weapon to success. Head over to RoleCatcher.com to explore their free resources and unlock the power of their AI.
It's amazing what they offer.
And one last thought before we sign off.
Yes.
You remember, you are more than just a job applicant.
You are.
You have valuable skills.
You have experience. You have something unique to offer.
Don't be afraid to let that shine through.
Let it shine.
Beautifully said. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.